Okay, in this video we are going to be looking at the transform tools in Lightroom, and these can be found here under lens corrections. It's always advisable to click enable profile corrections before doing the transform tools. Okay, so we'll see that there is some geometry corrections there because of that. And then we go into the transform tools themselves. Now, there are a number of different tools here. The first one is vertical. That's kind of, you can see it kind of swings the image around. You've got a grid so you can help you align as you feel fit. Horizontal takes it in that direction. So if we look at the shoreline there, we can see what it's doing there. Okay, that's pretty good. You can rotate left and right like that. Okay. Double click all these to reset them back to 0. Aspect, ratio, flatten or squash. Scale, bigger, smaller. Okay. And then X offset moves it left or right, and Y offset moves it up and down. Okay, so let's put those back. So those are the manual controls. Now we have a number of automatic controls up here. We've got horizontal, which is called level. We've got vertical, which is obviously vertical. Full, which tries to take both, and auto, which is kind of like full but tries to apply some of these other techniques as well. And then we have guided, which I'll demonstrate to you presently. So if we hit auto, actually in this particular case it's doing quite a good job. Okay, the verticals seem fairly vertical. If we just put our cursor over one of these sliders, we can see the grid. Now there is a little bit, if we look at this building here, okay, it's not quite straight. So what you might do there vertically is just to help it a little bit by changing the vertical aspect, so sort of swinging it round. But the problem with that, of course, is that we are affecting this building. So it's difficult to get everything correct. That's fully auto. If we go to level, which is the horizontal one, of course it's trying to look at this and pays no real attention to the vertical aspect. So in this particular image it doesn't work at all. We can click vertical, which is pretty good. And again, if we put our cursor on the sliders over there, that middle building is now looking pretty good. So is the central tower, and so is the city bank building on the right. So vertical seems to be pretty good. Full is trying to take some of these other aspects. It's kind of interesting. Let's sort of switch off, okay, and look at full. It's pretty good, but we're losing quite a bit of the image here. So we could try some of these offset movements. And the scale, so you could try and move it up like that. Okay, now full potentially is retaining the aspect ratio of this building, the Citibank building, correctly. Let's turn that off, but it makes it look a little bit narrower. So let's hit full again. Okay, it's making it look a little bit narrower. So you know, I'm not entirely convinced by that. So I think I guess the last one is guided. Okay, so guided, you're going to draw a line on the vertical like that. Okay, and you're going to draw a line on the horizontal like that. And in this particular case, it hasn't really helped much at all. Okay, so let's switch that off. So it's good to know how these different tools work together. In this particular case, I think vertical was probably one of the best. Let's get scale back to 0. Oops, double click that, double click that. So that to me is looking pretty good, with a little bit of vertical included just to make sure that this central building is correct. You then might use Y and X offset. So I've lost a lot of the water on this one. So I'm just going to recover that here like that. Okay. And I think overall that's a pretty good interpretation. Let's just push this back. Whoops, let's go back here. Yeah, that's looking good. So I've got my water back, the buildings are vertical, and everything looks great. Now obviously when using these tools, particularly for an image like that, you're losing a lot off the left and off the right and off the bottom and off the top. So if we take those off, you can see you're losing a fair amount of that building and a fair amount of these buildings. In this particular case, it doesn't matter. When shooting, you must compensate for that. So I left plenty of space over here and plenty of space over there. I wasn't bothered about these parts of the image. So let's go back to vertical. Let's just fine tune that a little bit, and there we go. And then you might choose to crop after the event anyway. Bring that down there, bring that across there. I don't need that building in. That one can come across a little bit there, and the bottom just up here like that, and hit enter. And there we have it, the finished image.